So once again, on behalf of BCBUZZ Technologies, we welcome you all to this 5 days of webinar. This is day one session regarding cybersecurity and the emerging opportunities in cybersecurity. Every day the session will start at 7 p.m. and it will go for 1 hour. For the benefit of those who are busy with their academic schedules and other reasons that they couldn't attend, we will be recording the session and we will let you know when the recording is available so that you will be able to access this recording from the same portal where you logged in and registered for this webinar. We'll be sending all this details by email and the WhatsApp chat, the group that we have created uh, in in a while, in a short period of time. Now, this 5 days session is not going to end exactly on Friday. Even after this 5 days of session is over, we will be having this group open, the WhatsApp group open, and we are going to provide some scenarios where cybersecurity research papers will be written. We are going to form teams so that people can come together and write papers and submit. We are going to provide many inputs in terms of case studies, use cases, industry verticals, domain-specific inputs, and some mentoring opportunities as well. So this is the name of the company. The name of the company is BCBUZZ Technologies Private Limited. This company is almost like 3 years old. We started this in December 2021, and today is like we are at the end of November. When December 2024 comes, it's the 3-year-old company. We are a SaaS startup, software as a service startup, especially in cybersecurity, and of course, blockchain AI or other two emerging technologies we have opted in. And these are our credentials. We have the Startup India recognition certificate like Jan 2022, and we do have ISO 9001 to 2015 certified. We received the DUNS number, one of the most recognized number for clients across the globe. We are one of the very few startups here having the DUNS number. This is for international business collaboration and project execution. And these are the other credentials. So I'll be able to share this PDF later stage through a Google Drive. We will be sharing a lot of inputs in the Google Drive. So this is my profile. The complete profile is available in my web URL, weblog, in100w.com. Most of you are connected with me already, and many senior academicians here and other senior profiles. We are yet to get connected. Hopefully, by the end of this 5 days of FDP session, we'll be able to connect a lot, exchange a lot of insights, and we will see how we can collaborate further in terms of cybersecurity for the academic community and for the students community. All right, these are the institutions we are regularly collaborating in the form of MOUs, close to 20, and there are like 5 to 7 MOUs in drafts. Probably within the next academic semester, we'll be able to completing it. So far, we have delivered around 250 plus. Workshop for 250 plus faculties from different parts of India, and today being the other 40 plus faculties, 13 faculties. That count comes around 289, and we have delivered like 100 sessions. It's not 95. We have delivered this 100th offline session in KGISL School of Innovation Lab last week. All the details are available in this academic URL, this weblog URL, in100w.com. This is our milestone. MOS SheGuards. Yeah, we have an initiative for women in cybersecurity launched by March 8, 2024 called the SheGuards. This is to encourage women to come up in cybersecurity. This is not only for academic. This is for students, women working professionals, industry professionals, women who are like in a career break due to parenting and so on. This is an initiative for the women from different domains, irrespective of whether academic industry or currently not employed and so on, to come and join if they are really passionate in cybersecurity to be part of this. And what we do as a company, we do have two different business verticals. One is the EdTech. We engage with the academic institutions and we deliver programs like this, offline and online. Most of the programs that we have delivered in the past is 100% offline. Now we have adopted few few initiatives to deliver few things in online. The first initiative was recently, by September 2024, we have delivered a 3-week cybersecurity program for final year students across South India. There were like 700 plus students from 4 different states: Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. Students from 50 plus academic institutions were part of this 3-week cybersecurity program, we just delivered, completed by September 2024. That was one of the first grand initiative that we did online. And of course, we have other edtech verticals like providing internship placements, project consulting, joint research, and paid and so on. The 85% of the business vertical is into cybersecurity services, especially in VAPT, vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. That includes web application, mobile application, API, cloud, Internet of Technologies, um, Internet of Things, networks, and the host audits. When it comes to network, we do have external network penetration testing, internal network penetration testing, host-based audit, including things that is running inside a virtual environment, Docker, containers, Kubernetes, and so on. Additionally, with the secure code review, DevSecOps, these are the core services as part of our engagement business vertical. This is about 85% of our business operations. This is a slide that demonstrates the VAPT side of the 85% of our industry consulting. And we do have a soft launch, Security Operations Center, probably by April or May 2025, in another 6 months of time. And of course, we do have this international partnership. First company is IPWV. It's one of the top 5 companies across the globe where they manage 1,500 to 2,000 patents and blockchain platform. And IPW is one of the companies selected as one of the top 5 blockchain solution provider during Paris Blockchain Week that happened a few months ago. It was one of the top 5 companies selected like an award function. So another company is Certic. They are pioneer in blockchain security. They have saved around like billions of dollars in terms of smart contract audit, blockchain security audit. The other few companies that we can name is Kull Audit from India, uh, with whom we are also partner with, and there is another company called Halbon, just for reference to Certic. These are the top few companies across the globe involved in cybersecurity, especially in blockchain verticals, Web3, smart contract audits, and so on. We are Intel Partner Alliance since December 2022, and we are partner with the Skill Act since November 2023. We established our Australian operations in Melbourne last year, May 2023, and we became partner with a strategic partnership with the consulting company called SNN Consulting in Chennai. They are, I mean, we didn't include the ISACA partnership. They are partner with IEC2, and they are also partner with ISACA, and they provide another 20 plus different types of global certifications for clients across the globe. Take Microsoft, Cisco, Fortinet, Palo Alto, all major vendors, we can say. Yes, this is our expansion based on Africa like few months ago, and this is our She Gods initiative that we launched like few months ago. And also we became part of Taini a few months ago. This is a vendor that is uh, providing cybersecurity certifications across the globe, like CompTIA, EC Council, TCM Security, Microsoft, and so on. And this is one of the recent engagements where we delivered offline sessions for 6 departments, 10 days, 250 plus students, especially in cybersecurity. This is a one event I just mentioned that we delivered online, 700 plus finalist students, 50 plus academic institutions by September 2024. Okay, now coming to the actual agenda of the 5 day session. Today we are going to discuss few things about cybersecurity, the most basic things, and tomorrow we'll be covering a lot into the cybersecurity research opportunities, and we have some agenda following in the following days as well. So these are the top IAC2 top certifications across the globe. If someone wants to get a certification in cybersecurity, And if they expect the cybersecurity certification to be valid and recognized across the globe by multiple vendors, multiple companies, and so on, like if you are engaging in a project with semi-government or a private company, a listed company, or a consulting company like PwC, Deloitte, E&Y, or else Accenture, like that. There are some certifications you are required to complete. For example, in the screen, this ISC to CC certified cybersecurity is entry-level certification where we can recommend to the students also to study and complete on their own. Only thing, once they complete the certification, of course, it is little bit challenge and tougher, but it's a worthy certification. And once the certification is done, to become, to get the certificate from IEC2, they probably have to pay the annual maintenance fee of $50 to the IEC2 company. Example. Similarly, for the other certifications, for example, IEC2 CASSP, certified cloud security professional, and so on. There are some experience required. The more details are available on the website. This is this is one of the top 5 cybersecurity certifications across the globe. I got a message here, then and there your voice is breaking. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Please let me know if this is repeatedly happening. Then I'll make sure I'll fix my mouthpiece with the mic um, and check once again. Thank you, sir. Thanks for that update in the chat. Sorry, I missed it to reply. These are the other few certifications related to ASIC Council. For example, computer hacking forensic university, that's CHFI, one of the other examinations that is focusing on blue team level certifications. CompTIA, another thing, and we do provide tailored programs. These are like focus programs for different audience group. For example, let's say an enterprise is asking for data security session, so we do have a session, and someone is expecting a session related to zero trust and so on. So we do arrange those sessions as well. We're connected with like individuals across different domains at different parts of the globe, having around decades of experience in cybersecurity, core cybersecurity. And this is like one cybersecurity workshop for freshers, customizable to 40, 60, and 80 hours. And yeah, this is recent advancement in cybersecurity for women, and this is something that we can skip. And this is more about what cybersecurity means to women. Okay, now, what exactly is cybersecurity? To say in a simple terms, like in the screen, cybersecurity is a practice of protecting devices, networks, and programs from digital attacks. If we are protecting, let's say we have some research work in our uh, mobile phones or in our laptops and so on, and let's say we are protecting that with the antivirus, if the laptop or the mobile phone with the security like thumb impression or face recognition opening and so on. If you are protecting like that, it is one form of cybersecurity. But cybersecurity is more about you need to implement a continuous practice of protecting the devices. For example, let's say there is an academic institution, there are like host machines in the lab, and there are servers that is handling fee data, transport data, attendance data, semester examination marks, and so on. And we do have applications managing it, and there is a backend, and there is a database to it, and there is a backup of the application in database in case like a disaster recovery, redundancy kind of stuffs, high availability, and so on. And we sometimes we need to enable VPN access uh, to resources or people outside the academy to access the resources inside it. At that point of time, additionally, along with the username and password credentials, we will provide a VPN access, and then we will provide multi-factor authentication so that we know who accessed what and when. So that practice is cybersecurity. World Economic Forum last week published a small video clip and also a documentary called Cyber Resilience. And they have clearly told there is nothing like 100% cyber secure. When and there is this person in IBM who actually mentioned that if you want to protect something, if you want to protect a device or something completely from cyber attack, the only thing that you can do, uh, I mean, go to a remote location like a desert, dig 100 feet hole, and then put the device in and cover with a cement concrete, something like that. What he means to say here is, if you want to protect something 100% of you, if you want to protect that from any cyber attack at all, the only thing is to take it completely offline, completely discharge all the power source, and then bury it under the deep. That is the only way we can protect anything from cyber attacks. Nothing is like 100% cyber secure from any attacks at all. Everything is vulnerable to cyber attack. The only thing that we do is we implement practices to protect all those things in 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 that network connected, in the servers, in the application that is running servers, and so on, with some practices. For example, if there is a web servers, we implement web application firewall, and we implement firewalls like intrusion detection systems, prevention systems. We extend advanced solutions and hardware appliance like XDR, MDR, and so on, EDR, and so on. And beyond that, for example, our laptop is having an antivirus solution. That is one form of cybersecurity. And when it goes to enterprises, for example, if you are like thousands of hosts, we will be having advanced security solutions, malware data solutions, solution that is running and scanning malware signatures in the operating system boot level, in the memory, and so on. That all these things are part of cybersecurity practices. The This is a survey. This is a statistic that was published last year, at 2022. Any device that is connected to the internet is vulnerable to cyber attacks worldwide. There'll be like 3.6 billion approximately internet connected devices by 2025, next year. 38.6 billion IoT devices, and this is a statistics from FBI that says cyber attacks on an average happen every 39 seconds. When we say any device that is connected to internet is vulnerable to cyber attack, we are having three things here. A device that is connected to internet, and there is something called vulnerability, and the third thing is called cyber attack. Okay, let's break this down a little bit to understand what it actually means. This is like an incident that actually happened. There was a casino in the city called Las Vegas. In that casino, in the ground floor of the casino, there was an aquarium. In that ground floor of the aquarium, there was an IoT device that is connected with the aquarium, and the IoT device was programmed to send some sensor data in in some frequency. For example, it has to send the water cleanliness level every 1 hour, and it has to send the number of times food was fed to the fishes in the aquarium and so on every 4 hours, like that. The IoT is designed to send some continuous updates. Of course, it's an IoT. And the hackers, what they did, they were in the internet. This IoT device was connected. Of course, it's an IoT, Internet of Things, connected to internet. The hackers found a backdoor, a loophole in that IoT device. They went through the backdoor, and of course, that is something called a vulnerability, which an existence of a backdoor or loophole which is not properly protected. That is called a vulnerability, and they exploited the vulnerability. Here, the terminology is exploiting the vulnerability. They used that backdoor. They got into the network where this IoT device is connected, and from the internet, they were able to connect to the intranet of this casino. And by then, when they are inside the intranet, which is like the internal network of the casino, they're able to access the rest of the network, the rest of the servers, devices, and so on. That's how the hack actually happened. There is another example we can tell. For example, Marriott Bonvoy Hotel Group. There was a hack identified a couple of years ago, and when they checked the logs, okay, when did it actually happen, they were shocked to see that the hackers got into the network almost 2 years ago, and they were like literally living in the network, literally inside the network for almost 2 years, like monitoring all the network activity that is happening, tracking all the activities, and then of course they exported data, exploited all the vulnerabilities. So this is like 2 years literally they were in the inside the network, which is like when time identified. And there were like a lot of hacks in the past. For example, Equifax hack that impacted UK and US citizens. That is one reason we do have a GDPR now for European Union and UK in a few years ago when it was launched, the General Data Protection Regulation. So any device, whether it is our phone, our tab, our MacBook, or the Windows laptop, or the lab machine, if it is connected to the internet, of course, it is vulnerable to cyber attack. The only way that we can prevent or avoid any attack happening is to implement cybersecurity measures so that we reduce the attack surface, we reduce the way the hackers get access to this and I mean abuse it. For example, how can we reduce our devices? I mean, by the chances, how can we reduce the chances of getting our devices attacked by hackers? For example, in Windows systems, there is something called a remote desktop connections, and there are like services that is running to allow remote desktop connection so that you can access your home machine, a desktop or laptop in a home machine, by sitting in academic institution or sitting in I mean connected in a lab from your lab machine in the academy or from your friend's machine or friend's laptop somewhere else. If only the remote desktop service is running in that machine, you can access that machine sitting from different location. If we disable that remote desktop services in that your home machine, then obviously you nobody, including you, won't be able to access it remotely. So like that, what we usually do, for example, if we take an example, we are going to do a network audit of all the host machines in computer science lab for some institute. If there are like 60 plus machines in the computer science lab, of course it's all connected to the LAN mostly, most of the time. And there are like routers and switches, gateway IP, DNS IP, DHCP, and so on. All this like IP addresses are sent to each machine, and there is like uh, there are some applications that may be running in the host. So let's say we are doing an audit of all the machines. There are like cybersecurity operating systems and then tools, and then there are like packages, Linux packages where we can run commands. I'll say a very simple example. There is this Linux distribution called the Kali Linux, which is used mostly in offensive security environment. And in the Kali Linux, we do have a tool called Nmap, Network Mapper, and there is like the graphical user interface of the same Nmap called ZenMap. So if we run an Nmap scan for all the 60 machines in the particular computer science lab, we'll be able to know whether all the machines are having the Windows services and ports that is listening to the communication is is properly enabled and firewall is properly enabled or not, and we will be able to also get a report whether any unnecessary services or port is open. For example, a port may be listening to a TCP communication or a port may be listening to a UDP communication, and out of the 65,536 ports, there may be ports like 40,000, I mean 101, which is like open. We never know why it is open, but that may be an entry point to the hacker to get into the network. So if we do a scan of that, and if we check what is the purpose of this port, why it is open, and why it is listening to UDP communication, and so on. And then we take preventive measures and not the corrective measures. So we are talking about preventive measures, and then disable the port or change the UDP connections to TCP, accept only TCP connections, and so on. We are actually securing that particular host emission. That is how we implement cybersecurity practices. Okay, this is the one example that is like that was in news few, I mean last year. F-80 F-35 cyber F-35 warplane went missing, and it was a news that it was hacked, because what assumed that someone hacked the warplane and they can modify the target, they can release the bomb that is carried by the warplane and so on. This is like one disaster that was out of the control. Not even the pilot would know what exactly happened. This is a case study for study. Later read. I'm just recommending here. And that is this another news last year. A Danish cloud host, they lost all the data. The data center got breached by hackers, and of course, including the backups and everything. The complete data center, all the servers, all the applications, all the data inside is gone. So all the clients lost, all the customers lost all the data. And this is like insider attack. An example, Tesla data breach. Okay, the data of like 75,000 plus individuals, I mean part of Tesla, were exposed in a breach forum, in a data breach, and it sounded like someone internally, I mean, fetched all the data and then published the darknet. So this is called an insider breach, insider activity. And this is another good read, Global Cybersecurity Outlook report. Last year, the last revision was like it was having more number of pages. This is having less number of pages, like 40 to 50 pages. I believe last one was like 120 something. It's a good read to understand what is the cybersecurity understanding with the different geographies across the globe, and what is it? What are the highlights that we need to know if we are in the cybersecurity domain? And this is like another example, India Skills Report 2022. We have highlighted three technologies here. Uh, Artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, data science analysis. Of course, these three are top domains as we know. And these are the only three technology domains that is like only technology. The other like sales and marketing, e-commerce, these are like domains, marketplace, and so on. When it comes to cybersecurity, any role that you take into cybersecurity falls into one of these three verticals, these three domains or these three pillars. The first one is called the red team, and it is also called offensive security. This understanding is very much required, because we interact with the students and the upcoming student community. When we ask a question, they want to start their career in cybersecurity, what do they want to do, whether it's a red team role or blue team role, and they don't have this understanding what is red team and what is a blue team, what's the difference between it. Some people studying digital forensics want to do ethical hacking also. We are going to discuss a little bit about that. Red team, also called the offensive security, is like a cybersecurity practice that we implement as a preventive measure. Let's say an academic institution, for example, St. John's University. Let's say the students are creating a web application that is recording the attendance data of all the students by facial recognition through IoT devices that is placed in each classroom. Whenever a student enters this classroom, the attendance is getting automatically registered. For example, if student is not in the premise or on duty or somewhere else, that attendance has to be marked by the HOD manually. Example, let's take a scenario. So when they are creating this IoT backed camera recognition, facial recognition system and a web application to record the attendance and so on, of course there is like a web application, there is an API, there is a database, and there are like multiple databases storing all this information and so on. But when we publish this to run inside the campus network, and it obviously it we need to secure, we need to test it for security, whether someone can hack it, whether it is secure enough to be published online and so on. That time, that is a time when, prior to the release of this application to production release, this app is web application is released for a vulnerability assessment and a penetration testing. Those activities comes under red team activities. We will define in detail, we will elaborate in detail what is the difference between vulnerability assessment, penetration testing, ethical hacking, and so on. So this is like something that you do to test the security of something, an asset, as a preventive measure, offensive. That is like offensive security. The other one is the other one that students are actually studying in their academy is the blue team, also called the defensive security, which is like something already happened and we want to investigate what exactly happened, how it happened, and so on. For example, let's say you are suspicious of a student's activity and someone wants to test. For let's take a simple example. Let's say someone accessed the college server and then they copied the question paper and they circulated to the students group. Let's take for example, maybe an internal exam. We came to know that the question paper has been accessed from the servers and someone circulated to the students group. So now the thing already happened. We will start with analysis of the logs. We will start with analysis for the logs from the internet service provider. We will start with analysis of the logging tools that is in the server, SIEM tools, and so on. Then we will go through when did they connect, what is the device they connect. We will be in search of IOCs called indicators of compromise and so on, to understand what went wrong, how it happened, and so on. This is like forensic analysis. That is called computer forensics and digital forensics, and there is a difference between that. And inside forensic, there are like disk forensics, network forensics. There are like a lot of subdomains as well. So this is a defensive security, a security practice or a security task, a cybersecurity task that is initiated, that is happening when something happened in the team. For example, threat intelligence or threat intel, SOC example. And there is another team, the third team, which is the purple team. Usually, they will provide best practices. They will provide standard operating procedures called SOPs. When a company, for example, Microsoft usually does this activity, they will hire external cybersecurity researchers to test their products. And when they test the products, Microsoft will also um, um, activate their internal cybersecurity team who will be part of this event. They'll be like they playing this offensive defensive thing, and the purple team is someone who monitors this and then provide the gap analysis document and the recommendation document where to improve, what went wrong, why the internal cybersecurity team failed, so and how the external cybersecurity team succeeded, and so on. This is what the purple team does. When it comes to cybersecurity as a career, when someone wants to start in cybersecurity, the easiest location or the easiest domain that they can start in cybersecurity is red team activity. The most easiest thing in the whole cybersecurity thing is starting with the penetration testing. We are not telling that is the easiest thing cybersecurity, but on an overall understanding of the entire cybersecurity, because we don't recommend anyone to start as a threat hunter or a threat researcher or L1 in SOC, because if it is an L1 in SOC, they should have a better understanding of all the operating system services, service IDs, how to assign event IDs to the SOC logs, how they can read logs, how they can find the clues, the indicators inside the logs. So this is like more when compared to penetration testing. So that is one thing that we recommend to students if they really want to start a career in cybersecurity. The entry level, the good entry level is inside red team, inside acquisition security, inside penetration testing, they can start with, most of the time they start with the web application penetration testing, and then mobile application, and then IoT, and then cloud, and then social engineering, and so on. And there are like a lot of subdomains inside penetration testing. And yeah, this is like few types of cybersecurity attacks. Probably most of you know about this. For example, SQL injection attacks. Uh, Nowadays, modern web applications have forms. For example, when you try to log in at Google Gmail, and Gmail captures the username and password and sends it to the backend server, authenticates the user whether the username and password is incorrect or not, and then sends a two-factor authentication to the mobile device, and then again it validates the two-factor authentication and then allows you login. And finding a vulnerability in this form, because the form is actually is connected to a database in the backend, where it goes and checks the credential that you inserted at the form along with the credentials data that is existing in the database already. That's how it does a comparison and says your password is either correct or not or incorrect. So that the finding a vulnerability is SQL injection, and someone who abuses that, I mean, if someone who failed to protect the exchange of data in between the form, the data, and the data in transit, if they fail to encrypt it, and if they fail to put the best encryption methods to the data that is between exchange between your laptop and Google server, and someone abuses that, is just called a SQL injection attack. Like that, we do have spyware attacks, keylogger attack, brute force attack, password phishing, cross-site scripting. Okay, this is like, I mean, top few cyber attacks, just for the reference. And we do have in the list called ransomware and data breach. One of the one of the most, I mean, one of the top cyber attacks we can say, because um, the cyber, I mean, the impact of the cyber attacks have crossed from millions of dollars to billions of dollars to trillions of dollars, and it is due to the these two. One is the ransomware, another one is the data breach. What's the difference? What it actually means? Let's say, I mean, take for example, UIDA department is managing Aadhaar for billion of citizens of India. Let's say someone hacks it. Actually, it happened. There is this website called Information is Beautiful. There you can see about other hacking. Let's say someone hacked this other database. They will have access to an individual's first name, last name, uh, mother's maiden name, father's name, example, date of birth, and their blood group, their iris scan. Iris scan is I mean the data related to the eye, and the fingerprint data. They'll have access to. I mean, most of the personally identifiable information about an individual, PII. Let's say they hacked it, and let's say they just want money to come out of it. This actually happened for AIMS in November 2022. All India Institute of Medical Sciences in New Delhi. It suffered a ransomware attack. When hackers hacked it, they demanded like 200 plus crores of money in cryptocurrency, in the form of cryptocurrency, not like fiat currency, not like actual currency. They wanted that in cryptocurrency. The reason why they wanted that in cryptocurrency is like it will be transferred to crypto wallet, and the wallet owner may be in any country, and we will never be able to know who is the actual individual in which country, who is the owner of that wallet. It's like something that is not traceable. Of course, there are like companies who can trace it. For example, there is a company in US called Elliptic. They traced back like billions of Bitcoin that has been stolen like few years ago, and they traced back to which exchanges it went and so on. So when someone hacks and then they demand you a ransom, it may be in the form of money or it may be in the form of cryptocurrency. That is called a ransomware attack. The other thing, I mean, it happens in it was actually published in news most of the time. Twitter got breached, and then we saw like 75,000 plus individuals' data from Tesla was exposed and so on. People, once they hack it, the hackers, the bad actors, exfiltrate the data and then they publish the data in the data breach forum in the dark web, and they put it for sale. When, I mean, in this case, your personal data is actually accessible and available to a lot of people in the globe, or people who are like access to the dark net, who people who are like they have their business, or they have the relationship, or they have their daily activities in the dark net and so on. They'll be able to see all the personally identified information of every single individual that is part of the hack. One example that we would like to highlight at this moment is the well-known activity that happened recently in India. It was in news channels as well. Star Health Insurance, there was like, it was news. It was news because the hacker claimed that the chief information security officer of Star Health actually sold him the data for so much of money. We'll be sending this in the chat group, in the WhatsApp chat or the Google Drive link probably later today, as a reading activity for today's follow. And then the people across multiple locations, they actually suspected that it is like the CISO who sold the data, the chief information security officer of Star Health, who actually sold the data for thousands of dollars. But actually, at later point of time, the cybersecurity investigating agencies and cybercrime and so on, they found out the hacker actually manipulated using, I mean, it's like a very sophisticated, well planned thing. He actually manipulated HTML code to look as if it is legitimate that the mails originated from a CISO, but actually he got the data from elsewhere, somewhere else, and then he actually wanted to blame or scapegoat the CISO of Star Health. This is really a great thing, great example of a data breach. The Equifax, the example that we mentioned like few minutes ago, that is also an example of a data breach. Now, when it comes to the cybersecurity nodal agencies or the bodies across the globe, the only two major in different parts of the globe, in different countries, is two. One is the CERT, Computer Emergency Response Team, another is CSIRT, Computer Security Incident Response Team. In India, the cybercrime, for example, you may know that we have a cybercrime portal, and you register in the cybercrime portal. It gets registered in the state cyber CERT, for example, CERT-TN for Tamil Nadu, CERT-KL for Kerala, and so on. And these are all part of CERT-IN, that is a central government's nodal agency that is handling all this statewide CERT departments. So CERT- Karnataka, KN and TN and the KL and so on, and then CERT-Indian is the parent body that is managing all the statewide body. These are some of the examples of cybersecurity frameworks, and this is like what is the difference between a network security and cybersecurity information security. Yes, I guess this is time. It already says it's 8 p.m. So we will pause here for today. We have a lot of discussion in the next few days, and we would really appreciate that. Please, let's join on time. Let's start it on time, and we'll be exchanging few more insights in the WhatsApp group and so on, so that it would be a best reference and read for the next few days of FTP. And now, if you have any questions, you may please post in chat. I'll be able to take it and answer. Like close to 22 participants in the session. Couple of academicians just left. Once again, thank you so much for your time today. And if there is anything that you would like to post it, discuss, arise as a Q&A query, please post it in chat.